Up next on the call, we've got Grambling State head football coach Doug Williams, who is set to make an appearance. They will face Louisiana Monroe at 6 p.m. on ESPN3. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. If you could talk about your opponent with Alabama A&M and also preview Louisiana Monroe this coming Saturday at 6 p.m. on ESPN3.
Well, first of all, we are a little disappointed the way we played on Saturday, but I think at the end of the day, we got to give AJ and his football team the benefit of the doubt the way they performed. I think we both came in with some questions to answer, and they left with a victory. We still got to answer some questions, I think, that can be answered, but you got to give them credit the way they played, and they played hard. Our guys, played hard at times, not hard enough. When you go into a football game and the first play, you fumble, it kind of like kills the momentum, and being backed up on your first three drives inside the 10, and you got to give them credit for doing that, kind of put you on your heels. And I don't know whether or not we ever recovered from that. We had big turnover in the second quarter and a couple of big penalties that kept the drive alive or gave them opportunity to be into the plus territory hours, So it was one of them nights that was not pleasing for us as coaches, but there's some things that we know we have to correct, and I think we can do that. And this week, we play ULM, who went to Oklahoma and struggled a little bit, but you're talking about a football team that went to a bowl game last year that has 18 starters back and, one of the premier quarterbacks in the nation. So we got our work cut out for us, but for us, we're going to play as hard as we possibly play, but I think the most important for us is to improve on what we did this week, because down the road it's not about ULM as much as about winning in our conference.
The floor is now open to ask questions for Doug Williams, head football coach at Grambling State. Coach, talk about I guess a positive from a rushing attack. Cedric Skinner averaged about 5.2 yards per carry, gave you 73 yards. Talk about his productivity Saturday.
Well, you know what? You have some positive, but I always look at the football game. It's hard to get positive out of loss. But we as coaches, we do sit back and think about certain situations, and you got to give Skinner a little prop for doing what he did in some tough situations. But we also, at defensive back and Nicholas people that play well with us, 10 tackles, a sack, an interception. And we just hope everybody else to give us a little more positive. The running back that we started, Jawan Martin, did not carry the ball again the rest of the night, because even in training camp, we had a little problem with him from the football. We just gave him the opportunity because we thought that he deserved to be the starter. But we also knew that he had fumbled the ball a couple of times. We certainly didn't think that, he was going to fumble the first time he touched it. But at the same time, we're fortunate enough to have Skinner and Justin Kelly, the young guy that we know that probably going to secure the football a little better.
Still taking questions for Doug Williams, head football coach at Grambling State.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rob J. with Talking Sports. Coach, just talk about how I know your team is going through some growing pains. Just how do you keep them motivated week to week?
Well, that's a tough job of being a head coach, because there's going to be some tough time, but it's very, very important that you keep the young guys focused, and basically that's what we try to do, is to keep them focused on what's at hand and what we have to do. And the most important thing, I always tell them, keep your head up. Keep your head up, because there's going to be a lot of negative out there, but you can't buy into it. That's what we try to sell a guy. It gets a lot worse when you start buying into the negative than it does, if you just go out and say, you know what, we're going to find a way to compete, and I think that's what we do. Hello? Hello?
Still taking questions for Doug Williams,
okay.
head football coach at Grambling. Coach, if you could talk a little bit more in details about Louisiana Monroe. You talked about them making the bowl game a year ago. They didn't have much success this past weekend. I'm not sure if you've seen film on them or not, but what else do you know about Louisiana Monroe?
Well, you know what? We really have. We just got it this morning, and actually in a few minutes we're going to get together and watch it. But we do know they're down the road from us. Big article in the paper that, praising the quarterback, which I think is a very, very heady, smart quarterback. They got two big wide receivers and a couple of running backs that is tough to bring down. When you got a team that went to the Independence Bowl this past year with 18 starters back, kind of let you know that their confidence level is a little high, but I'm sure, kind of ran into a roadblock up in Norman, but a lot of people run into a roadblock in Oklahoma. And their job is probably going to be to say, we got to get this thing to rolling, so we got Grambling coming here, and we need to work on some stuff. And we got to look at it that way. They mad, we mad, but, by them being Division I, they're going to probably look at us from a standpoint that we got to do them like Oklahoma did us, and we got to try to prevent from that.
Doug Williams, head football coach at Grambling State, still taking questions. A little more time left in his segment. Coach, obviously you go into a game expecting to win. Talk about exactly what you're looking for to pull away from this weekend's matchup before you get more in detail into conference play.
Well, like I said, what I want to see a little more enthusiasm. I want to see a little more will to win. We got hit last year with last week. Our starting right tackle got rolled up, and he's out for another week or so. Our left guard didn't get all his paperwork in from the JC, so he was pulled out. So we had to make some adjustment on the run. I'd like to see at least one of them back this week. And we know we got a couple guys that if you have to play backup, we had to take our center and put him out at left tackle. I'd like to bring him back to where we had him at center. It's just some adjustment, but that's what coaching is all about. And at the end of the day, that wasn't the only reason why things went the way they did, but at least you want to put everybody together and see how it works.
Do we have any more questions for Grambling State head football coach Doug Williams? Okay, Coach, if not, we will let you pass here, and good luck next week against Louisiana Monroe. That game, again, can be seen on ESPN3 at 6 p.m., so good luck next week, Coach, and we look forward to talking with you again on next Monday.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.